He thought it was just us. Until I said 5 words that shattered the calm. She is on her way. He was still catching up to the moment when I said it. 5 words he didn't expect. She is on her way. The room was quiet, suspended in the aftermath of what we'd been talking about. A silence so thick it made the air feel heavier. Then the doorbell rang, and for the first time all night, the look on his face shifted. His fingers rested gently on my legs as I moved, close enough to feel the pause in his breath. The sheets beneath us were tangled, still warm from the heat of every glance, every exhale. I adjusted slightly, watching how his breath caught, how the air seemed to freeze around us. I leaned forward, my hands braced lightly on his chest. His breath met mine, hovering there in the fragile space between us. He looked like he wanted to say something but didn't. His grip on my hips tightened ever so slightly, as though bracing for something he couldn't yet name. His eyes searched mine, but I stayed composed, grounded in control. Every move I made was intentional, every second stretched and shaped to keep his focus fixed. I smiled softly, letting my fingers trace a slow path across his chest. "Not yet," I whispered. He nodded, silent, the tension in his shoulders speaking what he wouldn't. I shifted again, and he exhaled sharply. Still, I didn't release him. I stayed close, anchored in the moment until there was nothing more to say. Then I dropped forward with a soft laugh, my heart pounding as my forehead pressed against his. He was quiet, wrapped around me like he hadn't quite returned from wherever we'd just been. That stillness, that moment of full surrender, that's all I ever wanted. I leaned closer, letting my voice brush his ear. "She's on her way." His whole body tensed. "Who?" he began, but the doorbell rang again before he could finish. He froze. I smiled, a deliberate, slow smile that answered more than words ever could. His eyes stayed locked on mine as the doorbell rang a second time, slicing through the silence. He didn't move. He just stared, stunned. I kissed him once, slow and sure, then stood, the cool air wrapping around my skin as I reached for the silk robe on the chair. I tied it loosely and walked barefoot toward the door. I felt him watching me now, more alert than ever, breath held. When I opened the door, she was already smiling. Dark hair fell over one shoulder in soft waves, and the wine-colored dress hugged her figure with effortless grace. She stepped inside with the quiet confidence of someone who didn't need to explain her presence. Her perfume trailed behind her, warm and barely sweet. "Wine?" I asked, already headed toward the kitchen. "Sure," she replied, her voice low, her gaze slipping past me toward him. I poured 3 glasses, the gentle clink of glass against marble the only sound. I heard the faint rustle behind me. By the time I turned, she was at the bedroom doorway, one hand resting against the frame. He had sat up, the sheet draped low around his waist, his chest rising and falling. Her eyes moved over him, calm and unreadable. "You look good," she said softly. His lips parted, but no sound came. I handed her a glass first, then moved to him. Our fingers brushed as I passed his drink, his hand warm, trembling slightly. His eyes hadn't moved from her. "She knows," I said quietly, settling beside him. "About that night, you told me the dream." Color rose on his neck. I took a sip, then lifted his glass from his hand and set it aside. She entered the room, her steps careful, slow. She stood in front of him, close enough for him to feel her presence before she even touched him. He looked at me again, searching. I gave a single nod. Before the story gets even more intense, if you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. She leaned in, close enough that he could have kissed her, but didn't. Yet he didn't pull away either. When he finally did kiss her back, it was unsure, tentative. I rested my hand on my leg, watching the moment pass between them. Her hand rose, brushing the back of his neck, as she leaned deeper into him. I watched his lips part under hers. His shoulders eased slowly. The hesitance in his eyes faded, replaced by something far more primal. I rose, letting my robe fall open slightly as I stepped behind him. My hand rested at his side, the other across his shoulder. My lips found the soft space beneath his ear. He shivered. His hand found my side. She didn't stop. Her fingers traced his chest, pausing just long enough to gather momentum. A soft sound left him. I kissed the edge of his jaw. She stilled briefly, her eyes on me now. The strap of her dress had slipped down, the neckline shifting slightly. Our eyes met, no hesitation, only understanding. We moved closer, in sync. The buttons on his shirt loosened. The sheet folded away. Our fingers brushed, revealing more than we were saying. He gasped. One hand gripped the sheet, the other brushed my hair back. She climbed onto the bed beside him. He reached for her without thinking. She leaned in, kissed him again, slower this time. I followed the curve of his torso with my hand, steady. Her hand mirrored mine. He leaned back, watching us both. I reached toward her across his chest, tracing from her collarbone to her arm, letting the touch linger. No words. None needed. Her lips brushed my neck. His grip tightened. We moved together, instinctual, seamless. She kissed his shoulder. I traced his jaw. Her hand found my thigh. I leaned in further. Something shifted, unspoken, heavy. Emotion pressed down, sharp and full. I folded into the moment, breath uneven. One of her hands still clasped mine. I let the silence stretch, a quiet that said everything. What do you think went through his mind when she walked in? Would you have let the moment unfold or stopped it altogether? Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading